Okay, so now we are going to take our PCB over to carbide create, or carbide copper, I should say, that's what it's called, and get it ready to be milled. Now, before we do that, there's one thing that we have to look at, and that's this. If you zoom way out, you'll see this little X there. That's the origin. And in order for carbide create to print this or to mill this properly, our PCB has to be over here. So if we have the origin over there, that's a problem. I do not know how to move the origin, but what we can do is move the whole board. So I'm going to select everything, and then I'm just literally going to pick it up and put it where it needs to be. So it's kind of got to be in that first quadrant, okay? And then we'll save it. Say okay. And I think we're good to go. So now what I have to do, we already did this exporting of files, but I'm going to redo it because now I've changed my origin. I've resaved it. I want to resave it. So I'm going to save it again. And now it's this. So I've got my files. It's under this folder called Majorel 5. All right. So now I can go to Carbide Copper. This is the website, copper.carbide3d.com. And you don't need a login or anything. It's just like a website, web-based program. So I'm going to click OK. And now we're going to just import our files. So we have to do this 2 times, one for the top side, one for the bottom side. And let's say next. And what we're going to do is choose our files. So what we have to do is go into that. I'll go to my downloads. The files I'm looking for will be under this Majorel 5. I've done this like 100 times. So all my files are here, but the ones we're interested are in the CAM outputs and then the Gerber files. Okay. And since we're doing the top, I'm going to choose the top and click open. So you see how now it's like nicely placed within the frame of the copper. If we hadn't changed the origin, if we hadn't moved it, it would have been down here and it wouldn't have been able to print. So we've got all of our pads, or we've got the writing that we put in copper, and we're ready to move. Now, as far as these tools go, you're going to have to talk to Maya and Chris or Lior to find out what the best tool is going to be, because we haven't sort of customized all that yet. So we'll figure all this out. We'll figure out what tool you need and we'll take it from there. But you can leave your isolation passes at 3. That basically just tells you how thick this is. Let me see if I can do this. You see here, there's like 3, it's going to go around it 3 times. It's going to mill it 3 times. If I set it to 6, for example, it's going to be fatter. If I set it to 2, it'll be skinnier. So, I mean, we'll decide, we'll figure out the best settings. But for now, that's that. And then the next thing to do is to select the drill files. So you're going to choose your file. And they're not in the GAM. It's also going to the CAM outputs. But this time we're going to go to the drill file and just pick the one we see. And now you should see holes appear. Those black dots are the holes. And again, plunge rate, tool, which tool you're going to use, we're going to have to let you know about that. If you use a small drill, it makes it very small. If you use a bigger hole, it'll be bigger. We can figure that out. Finally, the board outline. We're going to choose a file, and it's in, go back to PCB, go back to the Gerber file, so CAM out Gerber, and you're going to choose the one that says profile. And that's basically all there is to it. Next. Now there's one other thing to tell you about. There's this area rub out. So this is how it looks when we're designing it. The preview is like this. So you can see that it's going to like etch out around the edges. But all this is copper, and this area in between the lines is copper. So what we can do is generate area rub out. We can basically take out all that copper so that we don't have to worry about accidentally soldering onto there. I think this will take longer. We'll figure it out if we want to use it or not. But that's what it's going to look like. So if I choose to do that, I'd probably want to choose a bigger tool and then say next. And now I'm going to save this as a single G-code file. It's going to just call it copper something. And what I would suggest is going straight into your, it's going to put it in your downloads. I'd rename it right away and say PCB demo top. Okay. And then I think that it'll still have the, I don't know if I deleted the .nc, but you shouldn't delete that. It should be there. Okay. And then we do the same thing for the bottom. So you can just like scroll back. Let me turn that off. That's annoying. We can just scroll back and just start again. Or you can just like hit refresh and then it'll just take everything away and we start again with, this time we want to do bottom side only. So we'll leave it there. And then we just go through, choose our files. This time we're going to choose copper bottom. And then we're going to, I guess in this case, since we've already drilled the holes, we won't choose a file for the hole. We won't choose a file for the board outline. And then we will decide if we want an area rub out. So if we do want the area rub out, we should choose the profile. So we'll go into profile. It will try to cut that out, but hopefully it will already be cut out. And we can see what this will look like on the bottom. And then we click next, save as single G-code file. It's again, oops, there. So let's go down to my folder and we'll rename this PCB demo bottom. Okay, so those are my two files. And then the last step will be importing those into the mill, which I think we might do for you. I don't think there'll be a video for that. Okay, hope that helps. I'm going to record one more video. If you want to have a shape of your board that's not a straight rectangle, I'll show you how to do that also. Okay, but first master this stuff and then you can worry about more complicated designs. Have fun.